G'day comrade subscribers, hope you're all well. Let's continue on with the PC-8001 Mark II. So before, I thought today we'd work on the power supply, replacing the Japanese 100 volt power supply with an Aussie 240 volt. So we can see here that we basically need plus 5 volts and plus minus 12 volts. So I think I've got one of those, but before we get to that, I thought I'd have another quick look. So some interesting things that I want to probably try and get. So I think this connector here is for a Kanji card. So Kanji is the Chinese-based characters that's used in Japanese. So Kanji convey meaning rather than phonetic sounds like hiragana and katakana. So their pronunciation can change depending on their context. But the great thing, like I was saying yesterday with the cassette port, is that even though I can't really remember how to pronounce a lot of these characters, certainly in combination, I still remember their meaning. So, like I said here with the cassette interface here, we've got basically this means like exit, and then that's kind of means power, I think. So that means it's exiting the computer, and then we've got like enter sort of thing. So that's entering the computer. So that tells me that is output from the computer, and this is input to the computer. So for when we make up the cassette cable, try and load some cassette software. So that's Kanji. So apparently, I think Kanji module could attach onto here to give Kanji support. At the moment it's just got katakana, which I think is coming from here. I think this 2K ROM I think is the character ROM, because this is the CRT controller, so it would make sense to have the character data next to the CRT controller. And then obviously Kanji here is also in the same neighborhood. The other thing I didn't really touch on is we've got 3 ROMs here. So we've got 2 32K ROMs, and then we've got space for a user 8K ROM. And I wasn't really sure what they were for, but apparently I think you've got the original NBasic, which occupies 24K. No such thing as a 24K ROM, so stick it in a 32K. And then N80 basic, which is 32K. So I think that's what these ROMs here are. You've got ROM 1, ROM 2, and then ROM 3. So I assume, I think it boots into N80 basic by default, but I assume if you hold down some key combination, you can boot into N80 basic instead. To maintain compatibility with the original PC-8001. So I think I covered that. So let's have a look at the power supply. Very, very neat. This is the power supply module. Excellent. Just comes out like that. So you would think that you could probably even... They did make Western versions, for example UK. So I assume there would be a UK power module that would slip straight in. I don't have that. So I had a look, and apparently the Mean Well RPT-60B should do the job. So that'll do plus 5 volts and plus minus 12 volts. And I'm kind of hoping that I should be able to fit it in, but it depends on what's actually in here. I don't know. The other confusing bit is that I'm not really sure. I think this is the dash. I think this is the 60B. There's a 60A, which I think does plus minus 5 volts and 12 volts, and then there's the 60C. There's a 60D, sorry. But this one here only says, it somewhere. I saw it on here. Somewhere. So, yeah, RPT 60 R10, which doesn't really help. And then kind of squished, I don't know if need the light, maybe. It does say RPT-60-R10, and then it's got ABC just above the 60. And I think that there's a line pointing to the B. So I'm hoping this is a 60B. So I'm just trying to, sorry, I'm just trying to get the light right. So you can see the ABC and there's a line going to the B. So I'm hoping this is an RPT-60B. We'll find out. Anyway, I'll certainly test it before I stick it in. These are kind of standard connectors that you can get from JCar actually. Actually, I need to go to JCar to get some of those 8-pin DIN connectors, don't I? Maybe during the week, because there's some more PCBs arriving. But anyway, so let's open this fellow up and see what we've got to work with. So we've got we've got a pair of tiny screws there. Is that holding the base on? And we've got some screws on the top. I wonder if it's the screws on the bottom. Will this fit? Or do I have to go smaller? Alright, let's find something that'll fit. Okay, it looks like they're actually tri-wing. Maybe you can see that there. Kind of tri-wing, and I don't really have one that small. I don't think. I've got some here, I think, but that's too big. So I might have to go at it from the top. And that's all we've got really up here. I'm assuming that's holding something in place. So I'll try these ones. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I've always read the video description. So I always update that with information. So, for example, I found some GitHub sites with projects for the PC-8001. So I'll have all the links in there. That's kind of, yeah, I don't know if that pops off. That's not moving anyway. What if we undo these ones? I don't know what's that connected to. I think we probably should have gone in underneath. That's probably the best way to go in, I think. But I don't think this is attached. I think the roof, once we get the top of it off, I'm assuming that was connected to some heat sink. Now is that going to come off? Do I have to lever it off somehow? Like so. Okay, top's come off. Rightio. Rectifier there. Some big transistors / rectifiers there perhaps. Alright, so what I want to do essentially, by the looks of it, is, okay. So these tri-wing things connected to Phillips heads here. So undo those two, I can pull that out and hopefully replace it with that. I might have to go to JCar still. I don't know how many of these plugs I've got handy. Alright, that's come off easy. Okay. Alright, let me get this out. So I've got a grommet here. So I'll reuse this wire here and hook it up to there. But yeah, obviously I need to test this, don't I? I should really probably test that before pulling all of this apart. Mayhaps that would be a good idea. What's this? I could probably pop these two off here just to take this cover off. I'm assuming that they just pop out. careful. Maybe. Because I kind of, maybe if I push from this side. There we go. Oh, okay, it's one of those, got a thing that pushes in through the center that opens up. There we go, that's a bit easier. I'll push it out like that. Anyway, you know what I'm doing. Okay. That one I got the whole one off. That, okay, that's still got the outside bit in there. Here we go. Alright. So if that comes off, get it over that grommet type thing. There we go. Alright, let me get this out. Okay, I think I'm just about there. Is that going to pull out? Probably should undo that grommet. Come on. Dole. Alright, I'll be back. The problem is pretty much this corner here. It's kind of, I'm getting there. Just going to kind of wiggle it out. It'd probably help if I got this grommet out, but that's alright. I've kind of got it over the edge there. And I think just wiggle it out maybe. There we go. It was in there, okay, because it's a bit of a lip there, so it was kind of holding it in there like that. All right, so that's kind of out. So I want to replace this Japanese cord with an Aussie cord. Oh, that comes off like that. Keep the power switch. So the other thing also is just to double check that there isn't any kind of jumper to convert it from 100 volts to 240 volts, but maybe more likely on a like on a US 120 volt, because obviously 240 is double that, or 115 volt and then 230. So I'm going to do it for Europe, not just for Australia. I don't see anything obvious, so I think this might be just a straight 100 volt supply. Right, so what I probably could do is snip that and see if I can pull the US cable out and then just replace it with a 2-prong. It does look like it's got an L3 plot here, so I could maybe add an earth, but that's alright. This one doesn't have an earth anyway, the Mean Well. Alright, so I think I might just snip that off. Don't really require it. See if I can pull it out through. I probably shouldn't be able to, because that's the whole point of the grommet there, isn't it? It's just to hold it in place. So maybe if I just snip it closer, I can... Anyway, I'll figure this out somehow. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I think I've figured out the grommet. It's just underneath here that I had to just squeeze, and I can get it out, I think. There we go. Okay, so obviously we want to reuse the case, and quite importantly the insulating part there, although we'll probably end up drilling holes in it like so, and the top part over there, so we don't need that anymore. We do need the grommet still. Oh, there we go. Hopefully I've got a little Aussie cable that'll fit in there. So don't need that. Can change that to 240, maybe a little label I'll print out. So I guess the idea, it's not ideal having that bump in the middle, so I can short it out. So looks like might have to mount it like that. Should probably work, maybe more like that there. Drill holes in the corners there. Yeah. Interestingly, there was no screws for that. There was just held in place for the on-off switch. It was just actually held in place by tension by this, I guess, like that. Just held in place like that. Anyway. Oh, I'm just worried that there was something in that hole there, but it's not. It's just a mounting thing, isn't it? So it looks like, I think that'll be too close to the switch and everything. So if I do it this side, like that, it should work. But first, let's double check the output voltages, because all it's labelled is V1, V2, V3. Back from JCar. So I've got my 8-pin DINs for my Sinclair, and also this machine. Won't worry about those for now. So I've got some 3-pin and some 6-pin. So we can start with the 3-pin HM3433. Oh, okay, they're all broken up. Okay, well, that's fair enough. Doesn't matter. Okay, got an old cable, IEC, was it C7 type cable? Doesn't really matter. Just chop the end off. Although I could reuse this for VIC-20, so maybe I cut a little bit off there, and I can reuse this for the VIC-20 power cable. Right, so now what I want to do is, okay, power comes into the switch, and then actually this comes out to that there, that then plugs in to there. So it's this end here that I want to do, and this here that I want to connect onto there. So I'll do all that and I'll be back. To be honest, I don't really need it. All I did here was, like, to get rid of this one here, is I just heated up each pin and then just pushed it through with the soldering iron, and it came off. So the original power supply, it was all directly soldered, so I could directly solder the DC outputs there, and same with this one here. I could just, rather than use that, just directly solder the switch on, rather than making another trip out to JCar. I think I might do that, because I'm lazy. So, no more trip to JCar. Let me desolder that, solder this on, and solder the AC on, and then again finally test it to make sure it's the right power supply. Can you see? Making progress. As you can see, I've replaced the original yellow wires. I just didn't think they'd be long enough. So switch, and then we've got our AC in. I've tested it, so we do get plus or minus 12 volts and plus 5 volts. So this is an RPT-60B. So, oops, I'm just going to, so that'll go in there like that. Drill some holes, remount it. Switch will go in like so, and that goes in there. And then I've just taken this off the previous board. So pink, let's see, what is it? Pink is -12, orange is +5 volts, red is +12, and black is ground. So I'll put this back on and we'll be just about finished. And et voila, just about done. So it all checks out. So now I need to drill some holes. So that should ideally, that's where that grommet goes there. So maybe about there. And that goes in here, like so. And then that goes in there with the grommet as well. I think that's doable. Okay. Let's drill some holes. Okay. I'll be back. Now, I won't lie to you, it was a bit of a pain in the ass to do it this way. So most people, actually, I don't know, I won't say most people, but a lot of people say they're just quite happy to use a step-down transformer, which is fine, it's fair enough. But it would make the video extremely short. So anyway, so I realised I had to put the grommet on first before wiring up the AC power to the switch, and that was a real pain in the ass as well. I actually ended up bending the metal out a bit just to get the grommet back in, and then bending it back. So now that's all in place, so I just need to solder that back on to the switch. And I was quite lucky because obviously this is like that, and I think obviously we've got an indentation here. I think I'm just lucky it just kind of fits all back together. But even if it didn't, I guess I could just run it with the top of the lid off actually. Anyway, so I'll finish putting this all back together, and we'll try it out. We'll try the machine out. I also found the dip switch settings. So you actually do change dip switch 8 to switch between N basic and N80 basic. So we'll give that a try as well. Alright, I think I am done. Finally. Not bad. I don't think it's too bad. Put this on and then just change that. We'll give it a go. There we go. We're ready to go. No doubt someone will comment, but yes, I have done it. Changed it for the back. It will go on here, like so. And then these things push in there, don't they? Like that. There's the other one. Other one, hopefully I didn't break, but yeah. Anyway, this goes on and away we go. And we're just about ready. I still need to clean the keyboard, so I'm not going to put it all back together. I want to take all the keys off, give them a clean, get all this dust out. But basically it should all be back together enough to work. Now, with the dip switches, apparently dip switch 8 is the one that chooses the basic. So at the moment I think it's set to N80 basic. So if we change it that way, it should be N basic, the original PC-8001 version. So we'll give that a go as well. Where's my little cable I made up? There's my little composite cable. So I won't do cassette cable today. This is taking way too long. My little black and white cable. There we go. So I don't know if I'll use a 8-pin DIN. I think I'll just use. I should be able to use a 5-pin DIN for the cassette. Right. Okay. Let me get set up. and let's see what happens. Start recording. Power on there, and then power on here. Hey, it's working. There we go. And we've got the original basic. Well, we should be able to try auto, I guess. So, where's the delete bullshit button? Is it on this one? Did I get the right? Alright, where is the... there we go. Right, okay. Should be able to press F2 auto. There we go. There we go, yep. So, prento. We're going to do test su to no kana tesu to buretto fu, where's fu? Fu. Do I remember what fu looks like? I can't remember. Fu looks like ki, ha. Is it shi, to, chi? Okay, yeah. No, that's he, isn't it? Sa, na, nka. Oh God, I've gone all. I used to be able to write my. Oh, that's fu, isn't it? Yeah, that's fu. Buretto. You want to do chon as well. God, apologies on text, Balion. Fu. Ah, yeah. And then we want to do chon. Chon. How do we do chon? Was it a special key? Is that one? Is it that one? Maybe it's that one. Buretto. What did you say? I think it was like that one, isn't it? Don't worry. I can't find it. We'll go back to English. Test. Of course, probably I need to have a look what the differences are. And then escape. No, is it stop? Okay. And then run. Cool. Alright. So that's... We're going to stop. Okay. Press reset. There's the reset button. There we go. Alright. So now if we power off. Okay. Now we change that dip switch back down like so, and power back on. We should have, for some reason my screen blanks, and 80 basic. Yep, there we go. Cool. All right. So is it C-load? So normally it's C-load, isn't it? Missing. All right. So C-load. Illegal function call, or is it just load? I keep pressing the Kana button. This basic feature. Oh, okay. So C-load. Illegal function call. Oh, I'm gonna have to read. I have to read the manual. There we go. Anyway, it's all working. Next time, I'll make a cassette cable and try and find some software to load. I guess well, it's always trying to have to convert it to WAV files. But there we go. Converted to Aussie or converted to 240 volts. Working fine. Hopefully that was of some interest. Dragged on a bit. Apologies for that. Bye for now.